Cedar Court Hotel is part of a group of 4 hotels under the banner of EC4 Hotels, and the owner is domiciled in Monaco, so nice little tax haven for that person. And it was in the news recently. Not only does it house migrants, but also a company under the guise of Absurd Stacks has been using the kitchens to run a delivery business, doing burgers and that kind of thing with Deliveroo and all the rest of it, all the usual suspects. And a couple of YouTubers did actually go into the kitchen and film the place, and it caused quite a stir. Now there's a bit of controversy about this, because obviously the hotels have been receiving quite a lot of funding, and it is said, or it was first estimated, that the amount of funding required to house asylum seekers, the contract initially that was given to Serco, Mays Group and Clear Springs, was to be 2.5 billion over a 10-year period, but according to the recent audit by the National Audit Office, which you can see online if you do a Google of it, they say that it's around about 15.3 billion over 10 years, so that has increased substantially. And then you see things like kitchens being sublet, this one in Wakefield, the one in Bradford and the one in Huddersfield, but not Harrogate, funnily enough. That's the 4th hotel. They're not doing it there. I wonder why, but they are doing it in the other 3 places. So to me, my limited knowledge of this, I find it a bit greedy really. They're already getting paid a fortune to house people, and yet they want more money with this other business. And are some of the people that are in the hotels, are they working in these kitchens? We don't know, do we? We don't know what's going on. So there we are. So now they are facing in the right direction towards the hotel.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
So the vitriol's now aimed towards the police, calling them traitors.
Traitor! Traitor! All of you! Traitors! 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 You will be remembered in history as traitors! Just step back.
Okay, so I'm here with James. He's going to tell you all about something that he's doing now at the moment. So over to you then, James.
Thank you very much, Vince. My name's James Crashley. I live in Featherstone. I've recently set up a community watch group, but I've called it 5 Towns Migrant Watch. Basically, we've got a growing problem with illegal migrant men coming into the town and approaching young women and girls and following them. Obviously, we know we've got us homegrown criminals, but the police don't have the will to fight that crime, to deal with that crime. So I can't understand why they're going to deal with this crime that we've had imposed on us for so many years. So we're now taking action. Also as well, we're challenging the council to make sure that once these places like Cedar Court are empty, that they don't filter into our community under the Operation Scatter policy, whereby HMOs will be used in communities, and illegal migrants will be placed within houses next to you and next to schools. And we're not having that. That's unacceptable. So we've come here today with a support group as well for any local demonstrations. So if you need the numbers, you need the local support. Many will say that we've come from afar. This is our nearest city. This is my local city. We're only 8 mile away, 6 to 8 mile away from Fev. We'll go to Leeds, we'll go to Wakefield. If you need us, where you're getting overrun by the far left agitators who are paid, rent a mob, we'll come and support you.
Brilliant. How do people get hold of you? How can they get in touch?
We're on Facebook. I've set the Facebook group up after consultation with the police. I've been video interviewed twice by the neighbourhood policing team at my home address on invite, and at this present time we've committed no offences, so we are legal. Basically what we're after DBS locally DBS checked men to provide patrols and a gentle presence within the community. Ideally we want women involved because they can be the organisers, they can be the admins on Facebook, collating all the evidence and information together, and then when we have an issue they can then send the resources to the men as to where they're needed. Also as well, we look to provide static patrols outside schools and parks. Obviously they're not going to be intrusive because we're not the police, we haven't got the powers of the police. We understand that we're a community group. So basically we're using section 24A pace, which is your citizens' laws, your citizens' arrest. But basically we're just there to prevent anything. Prevention is better than cure. And we don't want Fev as a dumping ground. So the Five Towns name, I got that from when we had Wakefield and Five Towns paper years and years and years ago. So what we're looking for an admin group in each of the 5 towns to add to that Facebook, to be admins, and then we can create a group within each of the 5 towns that can respond and be there. And if they haven't got as many people in Ponty down at Ponty Park that they need, they can call on mutual aid from Fev, from Cass, from Normie. So hopefully we can bring the community together on this one aim and one goal.
Brilliant. Thanks, James. That's great. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So in front of you there is Many Gates Park in Wakefield, which has great significance in terms of history. Because we've all heard the grand old Duke of York, haven't we? He had 10,000 men, marched them up to the top of the hill, etc. Well, this is the hill. And this is where the grand old Duke of York died in the Battle of Wakefield. And this hill ahead is Many Gates Lane. And if you walk all the way up the hill, you come to Sandal Castle, which I think is quite interesting. Now, whether Richard, the Duke of York, was the said Duke of York is hotly disputed, as most things in history are, but I thought I'd give you a quick look, that if you've ever wondered what the hill looks like and the place where he met his demise looks like, here you go. And here we have a monument to Richard the Duke of York, which is inscribed with the following, if you can see it. Can't beat a bit of history, can you? Right, we're actually going up Many Gates Lane now, towards Sandal Castle, and this is the hill that the grand old Duke of York took his 10,000 men. And down again, and up again, down again, up again, down again. And in a short while you'll see Sandal Castle itself. Now, there is a scene in Shakespeare, I believe it's Henry VI, that was set in Sandal Castle as well, so we're very cultured today. You don't get this on Charlie Beach, you know. Not this level of culture. Absolutely not. And there we are. What's left of Sandal Castle. So Wakefield does have significant problems in areas, like most places these days. And I'm just on a road now called Agbrig Road in Agbrig, part of Wakey. And yet again you can see the type of road that it is. And even as recently as a couple of weeks ago, there was dashcam footage of somebody waving a bladed article around, big long bladed article, for whatever reason. So it's quite a dangerous area actually, to be fair, apparently. So we'll just have a little wander down here. Don't need to go too far, just give you the idea of some parts of Wakefield and how it's changed, you know. Anybody know Wakefield? Anybody remember this area when it looked a bit different? Okay, so I'm just going to show you one side of Wakefield Trinity's rugby ground, for those of you that like a bit of rugby league. Oh, look at what we've got there. You can see a proposed development there for Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. So you can read the banners there, Wakefield Trinity since 1873, it goes all the way back, but the brand new stand is looking rather fine. So it used to be quite run down, this stadium. You're probably wondering why they're called Wakefield Trinity, because it is a different name to what we're used to, but it was formed by the Holy Trinity Church to promote sports in the area at one time. That time being 1873, judging by that. So I mentioned about Wakefield having its problems, and as very recently as this last week there was an incident that ended somebody's life, and you can see the flowers there, sadly. And all this area here was all cordoned off. It was possibly a drive-by incident involving guns and so on. Just got to be careful what I say, because YouTube don't like certain words. So, but this is certainly where it happened, and I'm just going to give you an idea of the road again. So this is Doncaster Road in Wakefield. So if you want to see more of this, you can check it out on YouTube on other sites. But just to give you an idea really of what type of road it is, and another part of the changing face of Britain really. So we'll just have a little wander up. Alright. Bit of suspicion there. Again, it looks wholly different to how I remember Wakefield, but same as everywhere else, isn't it? Curries and grill milkshakes. Hydroponic equipment. If you ever want to buy any of that, not that any of you would, of course. Bellevue convenience store. So it looks like this area is called Bellevue. Sorry, I'm not over familiar. Just really to give you an idea. And I'm sure people in the comments will put me right about a lot of things, but I know for sure that there was a really bad incident this last week, resulted in somebody's life being ended. I believe people have been arrested. I can't talk too much about it because obviously it's an ongoing matter. And there we are. Okay, so I'm showing you Westgate now. in Wakefield, and it's very much a main thoroughfare going right through the city. Now, to explain the geographical makeup of Wakefield, there's Wakefield district, which is 5 towns and the city of Wakefield, and the people who live in one of the 5 towns are very fiercely loyal to their said town and probably don't like their town being referred to as Wakefield. However, today I am very much in Wakefield city itself, so I don't think I'm going to fall into that trap. So as you can see, life goes on here every day, main thoroughfare. Right down the bottom of this road, I'm trying not to move the camera too fast, is the beginning of a famous pub run called the Westgate Run that people take part in. A bit similar to the Micklegate Run in York, for you Yorkies that are watching this. So the reason why I'm showing you that to such extent is that obviously I've shown you Sandal Castle a little bit earlier, and that used to be where naughty people were incarcerated for their crimes until 1594, when there was a transition period and a new building was built. Now this new building, which obviously isn't that new given it was originally built in 1594, is Wakefield Prison, also known as Monster Mansion, and it's the largest high security prison in the whole of Europe. Inmates and former inmates, it's a who's who of notoriety really. I'll chuck a photo up and you can see just some of the faces that have been incarcerated here. Notable incidents, well, Harold Shipman, he ended his life by his own devices, if you like, here. And that horrible creature Whiting, who did despicable crimes, is said to be haunted by the ghost of Shipman and can't sleep in his cell. So long may he have many sleepless nights and concerns. So there we are. Many years ago as well, there used to be ladies, women and kids in this prison. And there used to be a mulberry bush, and that nursery rhyme, "Here we go round the mulberry bush," was said to have been born here or originated here when the ladies used to dance round the mulberry bush with the children to keep them happy. Now they did cut down the mulberry bush a couple of years ago, I believe, and a sprig of it was replanted in the Yorkshire Sculpture Park. Obviously Wakefield has got a rich history of sculpture, with Henry Moore and Barbara Hepworth coming from the city. So you can go there and have a look at the mulberry bush. It's blossoming, I believe, and flourishing in its new surroundings. So it's been let out of prison. And perhaps by coincidence, maybe not, there's the Theatre Royal in Wakefield there on Drury Lane. Who'd have thought it? I'm going to take you right back now to 10p a pint night. Rooftop gardens and Casanovas. Or you may remember it as Icon or Mustang Sally's. Quest. Nightclub that used to be on Hitman and Her actually when it was Rooftops. We used to do a club night there for a very brief period. Didn't last very long, but we had to go. So there we are. Who remembers? Get in the comments, tell us. Did you meet your partner there? Did you have fun here? Tell us all about it. And here's somewhere else for you late night drinkers in Wakefield. The legendary Wakefield Pie Shop. There it is. My goodness, happy memories.